they all fall in the same category. I think these are something that you should keep to yourself. Nobody should hear about it. Nobody should be asking you how much is in your account. Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. If today is the first time of you seeing me, you're welcome on board, and I want to ask you that you subscribe because there is a lot coming up on this channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always staying with me. I don't take it for granted. Today I'll be talking about the power of silence. Things to keep private for a fulfilled or a better life. Before I get into the main part of this video, I will want to classify privacy into different groups. There is a difference between private, silence, and being secretive. Being private or being silent on certain issues in our lives simply means allowing certain kind of people to know what is going on in our lives or certain aspects of our lives, and the reason why we allow those people is allowing certain people to get to know what's going on in our lives and the reason we allow those people into those things. Secretive only means hiding certain things from people. We're not talking of being secretive, but we're only talking about being private and being silent about certain issues in our lives. And there are different categories or different levels of privacy that I'll be talking about. The first level of privacy is things you keep to yourself alone. It's like a personal privacy. Things you keep to yourself alone. No other person knows about it. Most especially in the very beginning, in the early stage of that issue or that thing. The second level of privacy is things you keep with your partner, your spouse, your allies, your aides, your business partner, and all that. They know about that situation. The third level of privacy are those things that you keep within your family. Your parents know about it, your siblings they know about it, your children knows about it, members of your nuclear family they know about it, and by extension members of your extended family knows about it. There are certain things that shouldn't leave the walls of your nuclear family, and there are certain things that also shouldn't leave the walls of your extended family. Then the next set is, the last but not the least, is things you keep private with your friends or your acquaintances. And there are some things your friends could know. Your friends are close to you could know that even your family members might not know. There are one or two things like that. So let's get into the main video. The first thing, in my own opinion, that I think should be private is our walk with God or our relationship with God. I think these are things that should be no other person should hear about. Someone said, if you don't want a third ear to hear about a thing, never allow the second ear to hear about it. And I think our relationship with God comes into this plane, especially when it is in that formative stage or that incubation stage where probably you just got an idea, just got an instruction from God, and you're not to tell anybody. For me, I see our relationship with God as something sacred, just like our relationship with our partners or our spouses is sacred. That's the way I see our relationship with God. So most of all these things that we hear online today, God said this is the way God told me to pray, this is that, I think they are not really needful. And with all apologies, I think some of the issues that we have today in Christendom comes from our personal relationship. Maybe God speaks to someone and said, I don't want you to do this, or I want you to be doing this. And the person has a kind of influence over some other persons. They now have to force everyone that is under their influence to start doing this thing. Let's take an example in Samson. Before Samson came, there was a prophecy that a son is going to be born, and that his hair should never be cut. He grew up, knew himself, and discovered that his strength lies in his hair. I now think that if it were today, in today's world, he will now come and say, since my strength, God was the one that initiated this, my strength is in this one. He will now, and definitely he has influence over a lot of people, he will now start to tell them that this is now part of what should be over the people I have influence. And anyone that fails to do that might now be tagged a disobedient person or a castaway or something like that. But this particular instruction came tailor-made because of Samson, because of his purpose, because of what he has been formed to do. The Bible says, before I formed thee, I knew thee. I have separated thee. Because this particular person was separated. Therefore, this lifestyle, this living a fasted life, this life of prayer, this life of dressing a certain way, this life of doing a certain thing in a certain way, as far as not outlined in scriptures, I think no other ear should hear about it. It should just be between you and your God. I heard of one story of a lady. This lady wears clothes that covers her. The only thing you will see about her is just her hand and her neck, part of her neck, then her face. Because an instruction came that this is the way I want you to be dressing. And now, peradventure, of course, she might have influence over certain people. She might now say, okay, this is what God has told me. I want everybody following me to start dressing like that. No. And that's why you will see certain a particular thing in Christendom. Everybody has a mind, an idea about it. Everybody has a mindset about it. And the mindset is not even the origin of the mindset is not even from them. It's from people they have respected here and there, causing a lot of confusion, in my opinion, in the Church of Christ. That's what I think. So for me, I even think that thing shouldn't even leave your mouth to the ears of someone else. Just like a partner, a spouse will tell the husband or the wife that this is it, this is that, and the person that they told might think is one of those things. Let me just tell my friend. And on the verge of telling the friend, the husband just looks at the wife like this, and the wife understood that this is not something that should be shared. It is something that is supposed to be me. It was given to me as a secret. It was given to me in confidence that it shouldn't be shared. So I think our relationship with God is sacred, and also it should be personal. Except when it has gotten to a level where we can start to share it, to encourage people, to let people know that there is more depth, more level in God, but not to impose it on people that you must do it. If you don't do it, and the kingdom of God is far from you. That's what I think. The second one on my list of things you should keep private to yourself is your finances, your salaries, your career progression, your qualification, and your source of income, they all fall in the same category. I think these are something that you should keep to yourself. Nobody should hear about it. Nobody should be asking you what's how much is in your account. Nobody should be asking you what's your net worth. I know today in this world of social media era and everything, we now have to come out and say a lot of things here that just to impress people and also to encourage people to do more. But for me, I think to an extent it's your personal thing, because those people asking you how much do you have in your bank account, for me, I think they're trying to rate you. They've seen you in one level like that, so they really want to check if you are faking it or you are in that level or not. They just want to rate you, so they want to ask you how much do you have in your account and all that. For me, I don't think anybody should know how much you have in your account. Although once or twice we might have made such mistakes in time past, but for me, I think it's something personal. Then your salary, no one has the right to know your salary. If they are insisting, why should they even insist? If they're insisting, you can as well just tell them, this is the range of my salary per annum. I'm being paid 2,000 to 3,000 per annum, yeah, or per hour I'm being paid so and so amount. But being specific, I don't think it's something that should be done, because it is none of their business. It's solely your business. So knowing about your salary is a no. I remember I learned this way long time ago, and I think it's even bad in the I learned this in the hard way. I remember after school service, I started working, and at the point of interview and negotiation, we negotiated my salary, right? And my employer, my boss then now told me that we are going to grow from here. A few months later, a lady came and joined us, and along the line we became close. And one of those days she now asked me, and meanwhile I'm this type, I hardly ask people about themselves because it's really not my business. And there is nothing that you hear that has no effect. Everything you hear, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you accept it or you don't accept it, they all have effect. Even if it's not at that initial stage, as time goes on, you see that those words have effect upon you. So me, I have my own issues already. So why will I be asking you about yours? Come and add your issue to mine. Well, that's my own, the way I see it. So for a long time, I'm not that type I will be asking you this and that. So we became kind of close. So a day like that, she was not asking me about my salary. So I was like, we are kind of close, I can as well share. So at the end of after everything, we discovered that her salary is even 1,000 naira higher than mine. Me that I've been working there before she came. I've been working there a few months before she came. So she now asked me, she now said at a point of negotiation, she was told after a year her salary would be increased. Me, I now said at my own point of negotiation, I was told we will grow from there. That was the words that were used for me. So she was now, as time goes on, she started telling me I should go and meet our boss, that I should increase. I was like, to increase our salary. I was like, I didn't have that conversation with my boss. Why will I go and meet her to increase my salary? You that said after 1 year, you can go and please cover me. At least if they increase your own, they might increase my own, something like that. So, but she kept on pestering me. I was like, what was your problem? Leave me alone, I'm not going. So one of those days, you know, when people are doing bad things, they will be whispering, go now, no, I'm not going, all this kind of thing. So we were just talking like that. An elderly woman saw us. as we were doing, go now, I'm not going. So later on, she now called me. I was like, what were you discussing with that lady out? I just like briefed her, and she was like, So she told me certain things, that someone that will be telling you something like that is that. So she told me what she thought about the issue and also advised me. So I also had another experience about this salary sharing. Don't share your salary. What I'm saying in the nutshell, don't share your salary, especially among those people you call your friends. Especially among those people you call your friends, among those people you call your colleagues, even among your colleagues. Don't share your salary. They are not, it's not important. As far as it's not important, it is actually not important. Here in the UK, it's common, I think it's kind of possible for people to guess your salary if they know your job role, but they can only guess. They can't know the exact amount. So when people ask you how much do you earn per annum, you can say between 5 and 7, or you can tell them between 10 and 20. Go and figure it out. In fact, what's your business wanting to know my salary? Even if you want to give a range, your take home you don't have to give your range. Even in your take home, your weekly take home or your monthly take home, they don't have to know. And also your qualification, your work colleagues, they don't need to know your qualification, your career projections, or your career plans and aspiration is a no-go area. Nobody should know about that. The third one is your relationships. Yes, nobody should know either the good or the bad part, but most especially the bad part, the drama part. No one should know. Of course, once in a while you want to discuss certain things with your friends, with your family. Just know that you need to know what, especially the bad ones, because people are not that forgiving. Let me say, example, your partner cheated on you, and you now told or did something wrong or bad to you. You now go and tell your family, you tell your friends, and later on things became very good. You are now living heaven on earth. Your friends and your family, to a greater extent, will still be looking at your partner with those kind of eyes. How did they know? You're the one that went to open your mouth and tell them. I know at times emotion might just be running here and there. We just want to say something, but the time we say something, we are relieved. But bros, it's really baseless to tell people about your relationship. If you want to, about your family, you want to just be brief. What's your marital status? If you want to answer, fine. You don't want to answer, fine. Like here in the UK, they ask it a lot. Are you married? Do you want children? Do you want this? You just have to be discreet. If you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. There are certain things that people ask me and I just tell them. I don't tell people about this. Some people just say, but it's just like this now. My own is like this, my own is like that. I don't talk about this. It's just over the years, especially that salary. Hey, that salary, I've learned it the hard way. I don't discuss my salary with anybody, except it is very, very important. So your relationship should be out of the mouth, the ears. Issues in your relationship is something that you shouldn't talk about to anyone, especially for those people that don't have any reasons to know. But we know once in a while we still need to talk some of these things, yes, but we just have to be wise. We have to be sensitive, because at times our spirit could pick some of these signals, and at times when we neglect this signal, we just regret it at the end of the day. The fourth one is your personal goals, your plans, your ideas. You don't need to share them. your ideas. We've heard of a lot of times that you had an idea and you decide to share your idea with someone, and at the end of the day, the person stole that idea. Before you are still thinking of what to do about it, they use the idea and start running with it. And at the end of the day, you discover and you say, the person betrayed me. Why? Because you opened your mouth, especially at that early stage. It's not as if you won't talk. You will talk, but know the limit. Your plans. You don't share your plans. You can just say, okay, I want to go back to school. You don't have to tell them when, the school or the course you are studying. You can just say, this is what I want to do. I want to go to so place. But you don't need to tell them the details of all this. Don't share your plans, your dreams. And some of these things, they could bring about jealousy. They could bring about competition. And some of them, in order to prevent discouragement, judgment, you just keep them to yourself. And in case you need, in all of this, if you need advice, there are people you that are trusted. There are professionals that you could ask. There are even also people around us that you could also ask, probably your parents, your siblings, those that are ahead of you. But that your clique, it's not advisable. Those your friends, it's really not advisable to start sharing some of these things with. Although they might have maybe one or two trusted ones, those people that could believe in what you believe, probably pray with you, encourage you and all that. But in all, there are certain things you don't share, especially at the early stage, in that formation stage or in that incubation stage. You don't share them. Next one is your personal struggles. You might be going through some things. We all go through things. We all go through shades. One time in our lives or the other, we all go through shades. Maybe you are going through difficulties in your job, with your job or in your workplace. You are going through some issues in your family, in your business, in your health. This is not the time to start telling people all that. And you know, some people that you tell, there are some things people they voice out certain things and they tell people certain things. In fact, that would be the end of those things. Opening their mouth to talk to people concerning those things, that becomes the end of those things. So, because people carry different spirits. Some people, they carry the right spirit, they have the right atmosphere. Some, they have the wrong atmosphere. And when you open your mouth and you say certain things to them, they might not be aware. It might not even be their own doing, but the atmosphere that they carry might just fight with that thing. Just like some people, if they are pregnant, they can never tell anyone. They can never. If they have one good news, they can never tell anyone, because they will tell you that village people, yeah, they will tell you that they don't know the kind of spirit that the person is carrying. So telling people about your family struggles, your issues you're having at work, your personal issues with finances, with health. Of course, you need to talk to people. When you need to talk to people, you need to talk to people that are spiritual or professionals, yeah, that could help you, because once in a while we still need help, yeah. But most of all is no other help that could supersede the help that we could get from God, the guidance that we could get from God. Some of these things, they are just telling you. They will still go and tell someone else. Like me, once I see that you are closer to someone else, maybe you are a friend, but you are closer to someone else, I am very mindful of what I tell you, because that happened to me some time ago. When you tell someone something and the person open his mouth, wow. Someone said, wow, open his mouth or her mouth and start to tell people. So your struggles, keep them to yourself. You are in desperate need to talk to someone, just take the leading of your spirit to talk to a lot of people. Then last but not the least thing is telling people about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Are you my interviewer? You are not my interviewer, so why will I be telling you about myself? But some of these things, we have made errors in them in time past. Like me, I've spoken to people that became something else. Yeah, I remember one lady, we were kind of close, yeah, but we were kind of close, so I started telling her about myself. But me, I'm this type, I hardly talk about myself, and I hardly ask people because I don't want you to ask me. I have my own issue, like I've already said. You are asking, maybe I have headache, you have stomach pain, you not tell me about your stomach pain. I will feel the stomach pain. And I don't want to be in that situation where I'll be feeling, because there's nothing that we hear that has no effect. Everything we hear, whether positive or negative, they have effects in our lives, depending on how far or how well you have mastered it. So I don't want to know about your problem because I have enough. I believe I have enough. I'm not that type that. I'm not that nosy type that I want to know about you. Tell me about this. Tell me about your family. Some people tend to say I'm kind of secretive. I don't know, but I don't think, because I'm talking to other people. Me not talking to you means there's really no need to talk about it with you, or you're not trustworthy. You're not trustworthy. Because that was how I was talking with this lady, told her a bit about myself, family, and all that. And the thing is, she went to go and tell. That's why I'm saying, if you have a friend that is a friend, like you now have one that is a tight friend, I'm always very careful what I discuss with you. In fact, I hardly discuss anything personal with you, because at the end of the day, you will still go and meet that friend and discuss me, which is what I don't want. So as I was saying, I told her certain things, and she was the only one I told. She went to go and tell another person, and this person, some of them, the people that they tell, some are very smart that, and why is that? They won't mention it to you. You will never know that they knew what you don't know they knew. But this particular one, she was not coming. She was so dumb, God. Anytime I thought about it, I was like, does she even have sense? Or maybe it's God showing me that you don't have to open your mouth and be talking. And some of these people, they just want to know so that they will have what to say. So that when people are saying about it, this is Ena, I know Ena, they will not add their curry and time to it, you know. So don't discuss your personal affairs, your private issue about yourself, about your family to people. It is not needed. It is not needed. If people ask you certain questions, how was your weekend? My weekend was fine. Even though you were rejoicing all through the weekend, or you were crying all through the weekend, my weekend was fine. They don't need the details. If people ask you certain things, you don't have to be in details. All those details are really not important. And also, stop asking people about their personal lives. Stop asking people about their relationships. Stop asking people about their salaries, their jobs, because you asking, they will also ask you. When you ask me about my salary, there's every tendency I will want to ask you about your salary. You want to ask me about my job, there's also every tendency for me to ask you about your job. And concerning this job thing, you have an issue, don't discuss it with your colleague, your work colleague. I don't know if you are your friends or not. I've come to discover that you don't discuss your issues. Anyway, some people have gotten the best of friendship from their work colleague, but that's good for them. But generally, you don't discuss certain things with your work colleagues. What are you? You are work colleagues, so let it just be there. So, in the nutshell, there are certain things you don't share to anybody because they are for you and you alone, especially in those early stages, those formative stages, those incubation stages here. Now, secondly, there are things you need to share with your partner, your age. Maybe there is a business idea and you have an age or an ally that you are in business with, a business partnership with. You could share with them an issue. You could share with your spouse, with your family, with your partner, with your whoever, depending on the circumstances and depending on who the person is. But most of all, just be sensitive. I was talking with a friend some time ago, and we were talking about certain things. So I was now talking about what I think and what I was feeling about that. So she was not saying some things, but she now said, I am not telling you not to be sensitive. Despite the fact that she's giving me her advice, she also chipped it in that I am not telling you not to be sensitive. So what I'm saying is, just be sensitive. We all have this thing, this knowing kind of, just that most of the time we neglect it. This intuition, most of the time we neglect it, and at the end of the day, we pay for it either dearly or anyhow. So I will leave you with this. In all, you just have to be sensitive so that you know who you're sharing your issues with. If you think you resonated with some of these points and you think I've omitted some or some are not totally correct, leave them in the comment section and I'll be there to interact with you. Thank you so far for staying with me. If you've not subscribed, kindly hit the subscription button, put on the notification bell, like, share, leave your comments, and thank you. So until I see you next time in my next video, remain blessed and stay out of trouble. Bye.